Hey everybody, how's it going? Got an update. Apparently, uh, for the new Return of the Living Dead movie, and that's supposed to come out this Christmas, which I don't think it's going to be this Christmas. On my video I made about 8, 9 months ago, when the trailer was shown, and I was just giving my thoughts, that somebody posted in my comments. Let me see if I can read their name here. Give me a second. Emily Ray Reed R9Y posted a comment that says they shot on September 2nd through the 2nd, and now the director is refusing to pay his crew. And they call him out specifically. Steve Wolsh is refusing to pay his crew. Now, I don't know what the deal is behind it. I've been trying to follow this new movie's creation information. They're just not giving things up. But, Steve, if you watched my video and are watching this video, please chime in, man. Shoot me an email. zombieking2013@gmail.com. It's zombieking2013@gmail.com. I really like to know what's going on here to kind of figure out, what's going on. Maybe there's a story to it. And if you're not paying your crew, man, what the fuck? I mean, I made it very clear to the people when I made my 3 independent films, that look, if there's money available to give you gas money, at least, because everybody worked voluntarily. I made sure they got gas money. I made sure these motherfuckers were fed every day, regardless, and they weren't just, oh, let me get a bunch of pizzas. I mean, this was home cooked stuff, baked ziti or lasagna or something, and so they had a real meal, and I shot my second film on a $6,000 budget. So, and yeah, I had to put a lot of, my own elbow grease into it, wearing multiple hats, but there is no fucking excuse for a film that is being made where you claim you spent $50,000 to shoot the trailer. You should not even be paying, that you can't be paying your actors or your crew or whatever. Because I made 3 films with distribution. 2 zombie movies and 1 urban gangster film. And I made them for less than $20,000. And I still managed to split royalties, make sure my investors got paid back. And also, for folks that were really involved in the production, I tried to send them something to share in the profits. So I'm just kind of trying to figure out, and it's like even when I didn't have money to pay the crew, one of them, his laptop went down that he used for video playback system. So I had a laptop that was fairly new, but I wasn't using it anymore. I just gave him the laptop. I said, here, dude, I don't have a lot of money, but here, take this laptop. It's yours, keep it. And he was really grateful, But again, kept them fed, gave them gas money when I could. And then I gave him something of mine because he was in a bad situation. And every project that anybody who helped me out was involved in, I went and helped them out. So kind of a trade for services. But you pissed away $50,000 on a trailer, which looked good. I mean, I ain't going to front. I mean, it was nice. But if you've got 50 grand to piss away on a trailer, what the fuck? How is this film not financed? A known property. I mean, what the fuck are you doing, dude? So I'd like to hear from you. And don't take my aggressive approach about this as something like I'm automatically going to be biased. I'm just kind of speaking from my own heart as an independent filmmaker and knowing what goes into it. If you promise people something, you better make good on it. So I made sure that I kept my promises in what I could deliver, especially when we filmed way off site. I said, look, guys, I can't get us the best hotel rooms, but I will get us hotel rooms so that you don't have to commute, because we were shooting in Hagerstown, Maryland, and some of these people were coming from Baltimore, a couple from Winchester, Virginia, some from Woodbridge, Virginia. I said, I'll get fucking hotel rooms. That's it. And then the stuff that I knew I was going to shoot out of the town area, I would try to get locals from that area, not drag people down. And I didn't need the main actors except for one day for 2 hours to do something. And we got them in, gave them gas money, and da da da. And the only other time I had a bad situation was on my gangster film. One of the guys who came in, he was actually in my second zombie film, but he came in to play a person in the third film, the gangster film, right? He stayed in Baltimore, and we were shooting in Baltimore, and he's from Virginia, West Winchester, Virginia, and this dude's car got towed because apparently the hotel screwed up, and they wouldn't reimburse him for the tow. I didn't have a lot of money, so I was like, well, I think I gave him like $50 towards, because it cost him like $200 to get his car out of the impound. And that film only had like a $1,700 budget. You know, it's like I shot a feature-length film on $1,787. And I still managed to help him out in a pickle. And, mind you, feed everybody. And then when the production was done, I paid to rent the theater to show it so people could see it on the big screen, right? Thankfully, recouped the money through, sales on distribution for that. But I even sent the actors, like, I said, hey, this isn't a lot, but here's my first residual check. Here's $50 for you, here's $50 for you, here's $50 for you, because my first residual check was only like $487, right? But I gave them something out of it. And they were thankful, and I'm not saying that just their screen credit was more than enough. That's all I could give them. You are in charge of a known fucking property. Return of the Living Dead. Okay? A movie, which posters behind me, happens to be playing in an area near where I live, and I'm wasting $15 that I really don't have at the moment to go see this movie this Saturday for its 40th anniversary. And I'm sure you're probably getting a cut of that since you own the rights. So, to me, if I still support the goddamn franchise, but if, the worst thing you can do, dude, let me tell you something, one filmmaker to another, the worst thing you can do is fuck your crew. Seriously, fucking your crew is the worst thing you can do, right? You make sure, and even when I did my director commentaries on my DVDs, I couldn't stop thanking people enough. And I've said, one of the things you need to do, especially if you don't have a lot of money, is you have to thank your crew, right? They're doing you a favor. And if you agreed to pay them in return for their work, then fucking pay them. There should be no excuses, okay? And I don't know what this movie's going to look like. I have no idea. There's no trailers. There's no stills. There's no raw footage. There's nothing. So, and I'm not really confident with your cast now that I've seen it. So, and it's making me think it's going to be on par with the rest of the garbage you've made. So, I'm wishing that, I had the money to buy the rights off of you. Because as a fan, I think I could give it a better fucking treatment at this point. And with my connections in the Maryland, D.C., and Virginia indie film community, I think we could have pulled something off and not had this much blowback in the community. I mean, whoever's running your media game, dude, is just not doing you any favors. It is absolutely the worst media campaign I have ever seen. And I was doing all my own media campaign. I was my own producer, my own director, my own writer, my own editor, my own fucking composer. And then I was going out and putting the press kits together to send to the horror sites, posting in all the zombie-related forums for my zombie films and explaining, look, this is low budget, this is going to be on par with this, or this. And when I did my second film, it was such a huge nod to the Return of the Living Dead. I even told people, I said, look, when you go to watch this, you're going to feel like you're watching a very straightforward version of Return of the Living Dead. I'm not plagiarizing it. I am simply giving a nod to my favorite zombie film. And you know what? People took it for its face value. there's people that are not going to like it because it's low budget. I shot it on $5,800 fucking dollars, you know, but there's people that are going to love it for the ingenuity we did. And I've seen nothing. This is, your Christmas is 3 months away, bro. Not even. And you're claiming this thing's coming out on Christmas. Well, how the fuck is it going to get here? I mean, you should have had a trailer out by now. If you've been doing all this work, I mean, you don't have an update about, I've seen nothing about, is the release date been delayed, or what are you trying to accomplish here? Because whoever's in your circle is doing you absolutely no fucking favors at all. And I haven't even talked to a lot of my filmmaker friends that I'm still in contact with. And I think if they reviewed and looked at the situation, they would be saying the same thing. So, dude, seriously, if this Emily chick is what she's saying is true, fix it. If there's something more to it, then let me know. I'll report it. I'll kind of be your voice to an extent. But I'm not going to say something positive if it's not positive. Because you got to remember, I love that fucking movie. Okay? And it's already been done to shit because of the sci-fi films. Which weren't even meant for sci-fi, but they were so fucking bad, that was the only entity that would take them. And I don't want to see this fucked up, and I'm starting to have more faith in the Trash's revenge flick. You know, and I'm just kind of like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? So please get in touch with me. Again, at Zombie King 2013. Run it all together as one word at gmail.com. I'd love to fucking hear what you have to say. I'd like to know. And, you know, you could tell me to fuck off for all you want. But at the same time, if I keep seeing shit like this, I'm going to keep updating about shit like this. You know, and I wish I had more updates to give people. I really do. But this movie, you know, was hard to follow. When I used to cover the Dawn of the Dead remake 20 years ago, right? And I wasn't a Bloody Disgusting. I wasn't Dread Central. You know what I did? I pretended I was a radio station out of Baltimore, Maryland. And I had an online radio station, and I lived in Baltimore, Maryland. And I told them my call letters were WNWR, Wet and Wild Radio, right? Because that's what we were when we were online. And I said, hey, we heard you're doing a remake of Dawn of the Dead. We called Universal. I said, could you give us some insight? They sent me a minor press kit, and I started going back and getting more information. I connected with crew in Toronto who were sharing me on-set photos. Not professional. I mean, they're sneaking them around, and the cameras we had at the time were just, you know, fucking the basic starts of digital photography. So, you know, and I still managed to bring a lot of awareness to the Dawn of the Dead remake. And you know what Universal gave me? Nothing. They brought me to the world premiere, and they let me come visit the set. They wanted me to stick around that night to play a zombie, but I couldn't. I had to go back to Baltimore. And then I got invited back to play a zombie again, and I don't know if I even made it in the film because it was a crowd. But then I got to go and be a zombie in Land of the Dead because of what I did. And I had a great time. And I hate that fucking movie. That movie's horrible. I was like, man, after 20 years of waiting from Day of the Dead to Land of the Dead, and that's what we got, talk about a major fucking disappointment. But, yeah, man, I'm kind of shocked. This is not the kind of shit I should be seeing when you have a franchise property. Okay? The Toxic Avenger, which was a lesser-known property at the time it came out, got its remake, came out this year, and made its budget back already. And it was only released in a handful of markets, and now it's on Amazon Prime and everything else. So you're trying to tell me that you can't gain the same traction as the Toxic Avenger remake with a known fucking zombie property that started the brains trope in popular zombie culture? Something's wrong, dude. Something's not jiving. Okay? So I don't know who's on your team, but you might want to, you know, start asking some questions, figuring out what's going on, start doing some corrective actions, start doing some change management of what the fuck's going on, how things are going, who's your unit production manager, what the fuck are they doing, who are your producers, why are you not getting the money? There should have been no reason that you shouldn't have not been able to secure at least $5 million for a property of this nature. Okay? There's Blumhouse films that were made for $3 million that look like they cost 40 million bucks. So I'm trying to figure out what the fuck's going on here. And, you know, when I see that shit from people who claim they're your crew, I don't know their real name. They just put their Emily Ray Reed -R9Y as their YouTube name. Is that their real name? I don't fucking know. But they're telling me that you're not paying them. And so when I see that, I'm like, well, I got to make a fucking video. So what's going on, Steve? Give us some updates. Tell us what's going on. Again, email me, zombieking2013@gmail.com. I really want to know. If I can help you, I'll help you. Right? And I'm not even going to step foot in fucking California. And it's not that I hate the state. It's just I'm not. It's getting my time of year here in the Northeast. And I love October. So, you know, I love the film. I love the franchise. You know, so it's really on you at this point. And I said 8-9 months ago when I made the video, don't fuck this up. And you know what? From what I'm reading, you're fucking this up. And there's no reason that you should be fucking this up. All right, man? Have a good one. Bye-bye.